So you youngins want to know how Grandpa used to get down back in the day, huh? Well, let's see what these old bones will allow, shall we? Alright, so now that you've seen the build and work, in motion rather, time to give it a little breakdown, a little background for the build actually. So this was kind of inspired because you can, anybody who just wants the sauce, here you go, like here, there you go, there, boom, boom. I'm gonna go through all this stuff later, don't worry. There's a reason this build is the way it is. It seems weak, it seems like it's useless, or it's like it's not worth it, but that's kind of the point. The point of this build is to really give something to people who are kind of tired of the overpowered OP stuff, right? Like I can make a bajillion and one explosive, disgustingly overpowered builds across multiple different saves, which I have done at this point. I've played the game for so many variations of the early access. I've done all of that, right? I just want to make this build as a kind of release from all the broken stuff. So this build does still have a bit of brokenness to it. I mean, the cooldowns on the skills are obviously like damn near instant, but that's not really the selling point. The selling point is that it doesn't obliterate things. It's, as you saw in the clips, the swings weren't just casting explosions and denying the existence of enemies. You actually had to move around, shuffle, and fight. And more importantly, you probably noticed something weird. Every time I did a skill, whoa, I lost HP. What's up with that? That's because of the synergy with all of this, not the synergy, but the Soulfruit setup. And this is probably the most important part of this build because it allows you to utilize this. That's the whole point. The point of the build is to take into account the lack of youthfulness. It's called a retired adventurer. It's the point. It's in the name. So it's a risky build, and it comes with 2 variants that I'll go over, that I'm not going to show in this video because that's for people who make the build to, reveal to themselves. See it for yourself. Like, there's a hard mode for this build, and then there's the mode that I showed you, where it's kind of casual and it's very easy to get your health back. You're really at no real risk of dying, but it feels like it every time you use a skill. I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness. Oh, so painful. So that comes at a cost, because when you're on normal or the easy mode of the build, where you don't actually have the chance of dying, you have these 2 on you. First, I feel like, let me just say, you don't have to take off the Undying Fruit if you don't want to. It helps with survival, but the main thing that's actually keeping you alive with this build is actually the Stolen Moment. This is beyond overpowered, especially when you have all this survival stuff that heals you. Not being able to get hit for a solid second and a second or so, it's disgusting. It's overpowered. It's strong. It's broken. It's whatever, right? And that's kind of the point. This is your hard mode switch. Turn this off, and you get access to the kind of like the hidden power of the build. Like, think of like a old man in an anime who's like retired, but he used to be one of the strongest, whatever you want to call it, of that anime in the world. But now he's old, his body aches, and every time he uses his old powers, it almost kills him or something, right? That's kind of what this build's supposed to be. You're taking a risk to do insane things. And where that explosive power comes in is actually a combination of Phoenix Heart, which is what this is here for. It's here to give you access to that explosive, oh my goodness, I'm about to die, unleash my power kind of build. That's kind of cringy way to say it, but you get it. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? And it pairs well with this. This fruit allows you to pretty much put yourself on death's door. Not even pretty much, it puts you at death's door. So now you have access to this, and without the auto healing saving you too quickly, because this has a chance to. Without this, if you're getting mauled, you have a chance to die. Period. And you can make it even harder on yourself if you take this off. That's the point. This build is for everybody who wants to keep at playing at level 6 toughness and all that, but at the same time, you don't want to just run around with the overpowered, one shot explosion ice stuff anymore, or maybe not anymore, but you want to break from that. But you still want something that's viable, that's capable. It gives you that thrill of risk, of dying, of losing, of potential and all that, right? You have the ability to fight, but also you still have the ability to suffer, like you did once when you were new to the game and everything was kind of hard, or at least risky. You had a chance of dying. But that's what this build's supposed to do. It's supposed to give that to you in an organic way, right? Because you're not disgustingly overpowered. You have access to a lot of different things, and I will go over that now. This does require skill to use this. I will say that. This is not a new player thing. Genuinely, if you're a new player, don't even start trying to use this weapon setup. Just don't do it. It's not for you. I made this for the veterans who want to challenge themselves. So first and foremost, the weapon of choice here is going to be the Iron Claymore, combined with sudden death coming from Black Razor, as well as the real hidden star of the show, 1,000 Stings, which is benefiting this. That is way more overpowered than you think, especially when you pair it with, when you pair this 1,000 Stings with, all this, and then all the amplifiers, because you get the rapid charge, you get all the blah 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 blah, and then you have things that increase your damage. As you can see here, Unyielding Heart. There's a synergy there, and this is insatiable. It's just to help you, survive. Now, if you want to know what that makes up, it's just this, it's this, and this. Something that I have used before in prior videos, so I'm not really going to go over those too much. You know what they do. It makes sense. The main attraction here, like I said before, is the Phoenix Heart. but this is only really available to you at Mac. You know, I would suggest you probably lean into the build if you're making this and you can handle what this build can offer. If you can handle the hard mode version of the build by taking this off and maybe this off if you want to even, you know, make it even harder for yourself, then utilize this, because you will be able to actually use this. This will be useful to you. This might not seem like a lot of damage, but anybody who's played the game long enough, you know 1,300 damage is a lot when you consider all the scaling, and also when you take into account Death Spiral, because you saw the counter during the fights I was showcasing earlier in the clips. They utilize Death Spiral to get crit and everything. So imagine all that, pretty much guaranteed crit after a big fight or whatever, and eventually you take a fatal blow. And now boom, it triggers this, you get full health back, all 3 hearts, and this explodes. And the crits go crazy, because I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna show you. That is for people who actually want to experience it. This build is for you to discover. I'm not gonna show all the fancy ins and out of it, words. You get it. I'm not gonna show all that because I want this to be, this is a special video. Like, this isn't really the broken, oh my goodness, I can't believe this exists kind of video. This was made with a bit more intention for the tryhards, for the sweaty people, for the people who are labbing out stuff, just researching, constantly trying to find new broken or new things, dig through the game, right? For the investigators, you know, and for the people who really support finding crazy broken things, and they, you know, tell other people in the Discord and all that. This is for y'all, because I know damn well I'm kind of tired of being overpowered all the time. This actually might just be my new favorite build to run after all the testing that I did with it, because it actually gives me that challenge back. Now to move on to really not much. There's not much else to go with the build, right? If I'm honest with you, what you see here is everything I kind of wanted. Crit power, suppress, influx, because you're doing a lot of skill things. That was the preferred minor augments or lesser augments. So that's what I wanted. Everything else was just a matter of unluckiness, right? I got unlucky, didn't get those. And then with the necklace, I'll be honest with you, the Conjure Inferno is really only there for if you're actually taking advantage of the hard mode, quote unquote, version of this build. You can use Conjure Inferno to pair with that to give you a chance to do even more fire damage from the meteors. You know, it can add up. It can really do something. Like, you pair this explosion with the meteor, and if you get lucky, you know, it's basically, it's not a guaranteed explosion. You do have to work for this, and that's the point of this build. If you want the overpowered destruction, you have to work for it. You damn near gotta die for it, and that's the point. It's to bring the risk factor back in. And because I couldn't think of anything else to add from the necklaces, because there's really not much else going in necklaces right now for this kind of build, there's some infectious wounds, you know, poison. And that is, if you need to know, boom, boom, boom. It's just these 3, right? And with the heart, I think I covered that already. And the runes. Now, the runes are kind of important for the spam portion. Not really spam. I wouldn't call it spam, because there's a flow to it. You don't really spam things. You have to use it in a certain motion. If you understand how the skills work and read them, I'm not even gonna go over that. Like I said, it's for the veterans. You know how the skills work. You know how these skills function. And you know what order you should probably do them in. Obviously, buff yourself. Maybe you want to do Vortex to build up your and maybe you want to do Sting back to back to take advantage of this. Whatever. That's the whole point of using Runic, the Runic Amulet. It's there for you to utilize that. And then ignore this. This was an accident, because I was moving around the map. But the artifact here is this. This is to help you get some movement for the jumping, because, you know, the idea is that you're a retired adventurer. At least, you know, you got some hops. You're strong. Used to be a strong ass dude. Now you're an old ass man, or whatever, old person. The idea is that you still got it. You just, you know, you just have a hard time. But yeah, so it's to simulate that power, right? You know, and then obviously the tissue tearing is just there to offset the cost of this, because eventually you use this a lot, and the hunger heart, it starts to eat away at your money. Even if you have plenty of it, eventually you'll lose like a 10,000 if you're not careful. And with no real way to get it back efficiently, that's what this is for. This is there to help you with that, as well as this one, this Soulfruit right here, which I wouldn't say is the most important. Neither of these are that important, because if you're running this build, you probably have hella bread, or you know, maybe we'll just do a quick farming run or whatever to get yourself a quick 100,000 before you put this build on, so that way you have the money to constantly heal if you need it, whatever, right? And like I said before, I think I went over these runes. It's just cooldown. The runes are just cooldown, and you know, this the chance to heal you. But other than that, it's nothing special. Like, it's not anything great, because you really don't need the cooldown that much when you consider this is a part of the build. This is like I said before, this is the main thing with the build. You want this in droves. So make sure, you know, really with the runes, I didn't want to go with anything elemental, because the idea is that this is not a flashy build. You work for the flashy portions, which I showed off. And lastly, the ring, which is kind of self-explanatory. Got the Thunder Dash for your perfect dodging. You got this to help you cleanse poison so you don't get obliterated, because that's bad. A blaze and freezing aren't really that much of a threat, but poison. If you get poisoned, you could get wiped out. Like, obviously, you only have 3 hearts. Getting poisoned could be the end of this entire build, so you want to make sure that doesn't happen. That's the point of this. So that's to keep you actually in the fight, so you can ignore poison, so it doesn't ruin your day. Because I imagine if you're running a build like this and you were on a roll, you were cooking, you stood in a puddle for too long, dead. That's not a good feeling. That's awful. I hate that personally. So yeah, that's really it with that. Yeah, with the build, it really signifies the age of the fictional character in my head that I'm trying to imagine when I'm running with this. It really works. It works wonders for my imagination. I like it. If you don't like it, I don't care. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of the video. This one ran a bit longer than what I usually do with the explanations, but I really wanted to be more straightforward with this one, because it means a little bit more to me. A little bit. But yeah, that's it. Appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe. I'm not even gonna correct myself. You know what I mean. Or don't subscribe, or don't like. I don't care. Just a little bit. I don't care a little bit. I'm only a little bit away from 500 subscribers. So, like, you know, you don't have to subscribe. But yeah, motivational message of the day: live your life. But like, actually live your life. Don't just exist. Don't just collect your paychecks and buy some snacks, go home and sit on the couch. But actually try to live your life. Chase your dreams, even just a little bit. Work towards the equipment you need to do the things you actually really want to do in your life, because that shit matters. Even if it doesn't matter to you right now, it'll matter to you in the future when you're older and you wonder where the time went and why you're still working and doing a bunch of nothing and feel like your life is going nowhere. You don't want to get to that point. I know a lot of older people in my life who pretty much are circling the drain. That's not a good feeling. So while you're young, like we are right now, do something you love, even if it's just a little bit. Just try it. Try it for like a week, and then try it again a month later for like a few days. And if it really doesn't work out, find something else you love and try that. Because you only have time. You might be broke. I'm broke too. But sometimes you just got to figure out a cheaper way to do the things you like. Or don't do it at all and regret your whole life being a bunch of nothing. Don't do that to yourself. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.